Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So for those that are new here, my name is Runako Chadzimura and I am a student at UConn. So I'm just gonna dive straight into it. Today I'm going to be talking about something that most medical students experience during their undergraduate degree, and that is burnout. The reason I'm talking about burnout is because it's something that I have experienced for the past couple of months. Um, and this has resulted in me being like MIA on like YouTube, social media, and just life in general. So first of all, I'm going to start by defining what burnout is. I had to Google this because I'm trying to be as PC as possible. Obviously I'm not an expert in this. I am just talking about my experience, and this is just a video to show you that you're not alone if you're experiencing burnout. And I'm just going to talk about the ways that I dealt with the whole situation. So first of all, burnout is, I have to grab my phone because I can remember this. It's a state of emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion caused by excess and prolonged stress. It occurs when you feel overwhelmed, emotionally drained, and unable to meet constant demands. So this year has been quite stressful for me. Being a fourth year, having missed out placement in my third year due to coronavirus, and we're having to do a lot of catch-up placement. And so my week typically runs like so. So Monday, Tuesday is our clinical placements, and then Wednesday is campus days where we learn about, we do our CBLs, which are case-based learnings, yada yada yada. And then Thursday is GP, or you've got enhanced primary care, which you go to different charities, organizations. So it's another full day, and Friday usually is our free day, or really it's a study day. To be fair, it's not really a free day. But because of catch up, so I had catch up on Friday, and then I'd have catch up on Sunday. Sometimes I would have catch up on Saturday. So the week was long. I would have like 6 days a week sometimes. And it was just too long. And then on the one free day, obviously I had to do food shopping, studying, clean my room, laundry, the whole thing. And it was just like, I felt like I didn't have enough time on that one free day. So it got to a point where I would literally physically push myself to get out of bed. So I'd literally roll out of bed, and then I would be dragging myself through my house in the morning. And then when I go to placement, I don't want to bring my bad moods to placement because that's not who I am. So I would have to be all nice, happy, bring my social side, which took up so much energy. And then when I'd get home, I'd be in this state where I'm just like, I'm tired, I can't give any emotions to anyone, and I'm just mentally tired, physically exhausted, the whole hurrah. And it got so bad that I would just cry over the smallest of things. One time I was in a group chat, and we had to choose Secret Santas, and the whole budget thing was £10, nothing much. And one person in the group chat sent a link that would randomly choose Secret Santas for us, and I just sat there and I just cried and cried and cried and cried. In my head, it was like, oh, this is another task I have to do, and it's something so small as that, and I just broke down and cried, like, badly. So I was unable to cope with anything, literally anything. At this point, people who are watching this and not knowing me are probably like, oh my god, Rue, what? We didn't know this. I don't know if my parents are gonna watch this, but they're gonna be like, oh my god, what is this? They're gonna be horrified. But this is my truth, like, this is what I went through, and I just felt like I should share it with you guys, because like I said, you could be going through this, or you might go through this at a later date, who knows. So because of my exhaustion, I started feeling like I wasn't performing as well. So in UConn, we only have exams at the end of the year, so it's not like we have assessments like during the year. But I could see that I was decreasing my performance in the sense that I wasn't studying as much. I would do questions on past medicine, and they just wouldn't make sense, and I would have read about the particular topic before I did the question. And there's just this thing in medicine where you always feel like you're never good enough. I don't know, maybe it's just me. But it's like one of those things whereby, like in my head, I always tell myself, like, oh, we're in fourth year and we write our finals at the end of fourth year. So this is supposed to be in July. And, you get asked some questions and you're just like, oh my God, I don't know what the answer of this question is. Like, especially on placement by a consultant. And then you're just like, yeah, I don't know what the answer is. And then I would start freaking out. I would be so anxious. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to be a doctor in like 2 years. Someone's going to be depending on me. And I don't know the answer. Like, I was always stressing myself a lot. And then, that like made me sluggish all the time. I had no creativity whatsoever. So we had to do an essay, like a frailty project, which is an essay on frailty basically. And I just couldn't get myself to writing this project. I would sit on my computer for like hours on end and I'll just, look at the topic and nothing would come into mind. And, I remember this one day where I sat at my computer for like 5 hours, got from it, and all I'd done was a heading. I'd put my table of contents and I had put my big headings, which were just the questions I was meant to fill out. And, obviously I didn't feel accomplished, but that's all I could do. So then I also was sleeping a lot. Like, I usually wake up early in the morning. Like, I'm an early bird because I read well in the morning. But I go to sleep, early. So I'd have my 8 hours of sleep. To be honest, this is the most sleep I've had in med school. I usually sleep for like 6 hours, 7 hours. So I'd have like 8-9 hours of sleep and I'd wake up and I'm still exhausted. And then there are those small things whereby, like I explained my schedule, from last semester. You're always on placement or doing something, and then when you're not, you have to study, you have to prepare for things, you have to prepare for placement, and it's like one of those things where it's like a cycle. And you go on social media or you hear from friends that you're not getting married or getting engaged, that have gotten promotions at work, that are doing really well in their lives, and you want to feel happy for them. Like, genuinely, I feel happy for all my friends. Like, my team be winning. Genuinely, you want to feel happy for them, but you're just sad. That makes you emotionally exhausted because because there'll be times when I'll be questioning myself, like, oh, why am I going through this? I already have a degree. I could be going to work. But the thing is, I really, really, really love studying medicine, and the fact that I've gone to do a degree before and then now doing medicine, I could have easily quit along the way, but medicine is something that I know is my heart's desire. Like, when I did biomed, I knew that I was never gonna work as a biomedical scientist, because my interests were just somewhere else. This made me start to deal with my emotions by overeating. So I love to cook. I really, really love to cook. But I stopped cooking and I was ordering in a lot of food, just eating, and then obviously with eating comes weight gain, and then had low self-esteem. I didn't want to go out for things because all my clothes weren't fitting. It was just a vicious cycle. And then sometimes I would binge it and then purge, which was just a really, really dark time in my life. I know, side note, that after this video people are probably gonna text me and be like, "Drew, are you okay?" But yes, I am okay. I am smiling throughout this video. So all that happened, and the way that I dealt with it initially was to tell myself that everything was okay. I don't know if it's like a cultural thing where you just like, no, I'm fine, yeah, I'm gonna deal with it. But there were other things that made me force myself to say that I was fine. So first of all, I was thinking, oh my God, my parents are working so much. The amount that you have to pay for tuition fees, especially as an international student, is a lot. So 36,000 is a lot. of money. And I'll tell myself like, oh yeah, my parents are working so hard, so why do I have to feel this burnout? Like, I need to work through it. I'm fine. They're going through even more stress in their life. Um, in addition, I look at my mom, who's so strong. So my mom went through breast cancer when I was in my second year of medicine, and she went through the whole chemotherapy, and I could, she wasn't okay. But she's tried to stay as strong as she could for us. And now we talk about what she actually went through when she was having breast cancer. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I could cry. It's horrible, but I'd be like, yeah, she was strong. She went through it. So I'm going to be okay, and I kept pushing myself, telling myself that I would be okay, and I'd like, even in that time when my mom had breast cancer, she was like, no, you have to do your exams in my second year, and I still did them. I did relatively okay. But I was like, you know what, you went through this, no, you can't be burnt out because, there's an extra day or two of placement. But to be honest, this isn't the right way of going through things. I won't lie, even during placement, there were times where things were amazing. It wasn't all forcing myself to be happy. Obviously, there were times when, so at that time I was doing my orthopedic rotation, and I remember seeing my first hip replacement, and it was so amazing. I was like, what? And then the lady wasn't under like general anesthetic, so they weren't sleeping, they weren't like numb or sleeping completely. And I remember during the surgery, like they were like, oh, here's a hammer, and like hammer the hip into the, the socket. And I was like, so there were things that were amazing. Medicine is still amazing. Studying medicine is amazing if that's, what you want to do, honestly. But yeah, so that's why I kept telling myself like, oh, it's okay because of those good days. But really and truly speaking, things weren't okay. So first of all, the key thing to do is to notice your symptoms and notice that you're starting to get burnt out. So this could be insomnia, so unable to sleep or increased sleep, your eating habits if they've changed, decreased concentration, feeling exhausted, all those things that I was listing out, like, they were happening to me, and I just thought, no, it's okay, I'm fine. And even if you have an inkling that, okay, you know what, I'm eating too much, or I'm eating too little, I'm not sleeping enough, talk to someone. Like, this is something that I wish I had done. I wish I had talked to people. The third thing is, use your school, guys. Like, this is something that I didn't do until the last moment, when I felt like I was losing myself. And through them, I found some very useful support groups. So, things like online CBTs, there's like yoga that you can try in person, there's like classes at the Buddhist center. You don't have to be Buddhist to go to them, but they're just, well-being and relaxation classes. You can always self-refer for counseling, which I have done, even though it's currently taking about 10 weeks to get an appointment, because there's so many people going through so many things, especially right now. There are websites like Headspace, for eating disorders. There's things like eatingdisorders.org.uk that you can use, and last you can always go to your GP, because they can refer you to like things like Minds Matters if you're going through some mental health issues, or they can always prescribe something for you if that's the route that you want to take. So these are some of the resources that I got, albeit I only found out about them in my last academic advisor meeting, which was beginning of December. But there's all this help for you to succeed, and you shouldn't be suffering from things like burnout or even mental health issues alone. Talk to someone, get help, and also don't lose focus of why you actually got into medicine in the first place. And that's, I think, the reason why, and that's the reason why I kept going, to be honest. I mean, besides the tuition fees, which is a lot, but yeah, so that was one of the reasons that I just persevered with everything that was going on, because I know at the end of the day, I do want to be a doctor, and I do like medicine, and they're always the good days, like when you see childbirth, or in my case a hip replacement. Even though I don't want to be a surgeon at all. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this. I'm sorry that my first video back is a bit deep, but these are some of the realities. Not even a word. These are the realities. I think it sounds right. These are the realities. These are the realities of med school. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a word. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, ending this on a very positive and lovely vibe. But yeah, so before I go, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. What's the other one? Like, subscribe, share, comment on this video. Gosh, I've been gone off YouTube for a long time. Yeah, but yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you need to send me a message, if you have questions about anything, shoot me a message through email or Instagram or Facebook, and I'll put the links below. Anyway, bye for now, guys.